Fidget Spinners, this little playful object intentionally designed for people with autism and anxiety, and somehow they were enjoyed by the entire world back in 2017. I don't know how it sounds to you, but I think that says something. Before we get to this new dangerous tumor which is out in the wild, I would just ask you to remember, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to drop a like and maybe even consider subscribing. Now let's get back into the rant. The fidget spinner was simple. Its purpose was to spin and entertain. Yeah, I'm not surprised they died after a few months. Every single store in my area had a bunch of fidget spinners. And especially there was this one store which practically sustained itself by selling fidget spinners. Now they're closed down. I believe all they had to offer aside of fidget spinners was a bunch of USB cables and old phones from the 2010s. People's addictions over these spinning specimens led to some schools, including mine, completely banning the fidget spinner. I remember this one time back in elementary school. We had this super strict principal which obviously retired the year we left, and she demanded of the teachers working at my school to inspect our bags to make sure we didn't have any fidget spinners. I'm sorry, Karen, you didn't have any other things to do? For example, fixing the yard, which brought me back to 1940s? The ground of the play area was made out of tarmac, so it was basically a death wish if you dared to play, or even make a bad decision of running in there. Actually, the year after we left, she left as well, and the entire school went through a renovation. What the fuck? The point I drifted off from was that fidget spinners even impacted the life of my depressed principal. It wasn't long after a few months later that people started digging mass graves for all of the fidget spinners, and that's how the phenomenon of the pre-TikTok trend died. But something which has been becoming a trend over the last few years is vaping. It's not as harmful as smoking real cigarettes, is it? I also don't know because I don't smoke, I don't vape, or do any of that shit which will potentially shorten my lifetime. I'm already addicted to God and watching anime and consuming too many snacks. Feeding two addictions at once. And that's what I call multitasking. But fidget spinners have come back. They were kept deep in the Odin's vault away from the sunlight for infinite centuries, but were stolen by a Gen Z maniac, which fled with a fidget spinner on its electric scooter. They were repurposed. And if we follow the description of the first non-corrupted fidget spinners, they were initially made for people with autism and anxiety. So if you happen to be mildly autistic or you're just going through a tough time, so you may also have a few puffs, how the kids call it. So the ingredients which create the flavor of what is known as splash ice, how's that a flavor, can put you, a depressed teenager whose life is full of drama and trauma, into the grave a little bit sooner. Because I really don't know, how do you create a flavor such as splash ice? Donut! And these are actual real flavors, by the way. And also don't forget to spin it before the next puff. Fidget spinners were a relic of the past, an icon of my middle school years. Now that symbolism and meaning has been brutally murdered by the company which thinks they can make a profit of selling Fidget Spinner Vapes in 2022. They're in the grave, let them rot in peace. If I was one of the fidget spinners deep in the mass graves, and sort of my senses came back to me, and what I saw is my descendants being put back on the shelves to be served as vapes, I would want a death beyond eternal death. I can already imagine this pitch meeting, a bunch of white-haired men trying to come up with a trendy product, and they're like, oh, do you remember that trend from half a decade ago? Those fidget spinners? Oh yeah, I do. So what about we repurpose the fidget spinner with something else the kids love, a vape? That's an excellent idea. I've been thinking of KMS myself because our business isn't doing well anymore because we keep on using all of these TikTok influencers to promote our shop, our products, but nobody buys them. Yeah, my wife and kids left me. No, seriously, fuck you, whoever came up with the fidget spinner vape. But anyway, my kids, thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe and drop a like since the channel is still under 1k subs. So if you want to support me, please do. Goodbye. Don't vape. Be smart. Unlike most people nowadays. Bye.
Baba Booey.